best bites forever.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Chef Alicia, and in this video you'll learn some new school lunch ideas. Let's start off with one of my very favorites. This one is my baked potato lunch. So for this one I have started off with a potato, obviously, and I am going to go ahead and scrub that, and I also took a fork and I stabbed it all around just to kind of vent it a little bit on both sides. I put this into the microwave. I have kind of a little potato here, so it only took 3 minutes on each side, so a total of 6 minutes. If you have a really big potato, it will take longer. For the last minute, I also put a little bit of frozen broccoli in there, and now we are ready to put this together. So I have my very hot little potato here, which I'm burning my fingers on, so I'm going to grab a paper towel, and I'm going to just use my knife here to kind of cut it open, and then I want to cut it crossways as well, and that way we can put some yummy ingredients inside of it and kind of get it ready for our lunch here. The first thing that I want to add in is a little bit of butter, because I absolutely love butter inside of my baked potatoes. So a couple nice sized pieces in there, which are going to melt because it is really hot. I'm also going to put a little bit of salt in there, and I'm using the Himalayan pink salt along with some freshly ground black pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and move that to my little bento box here. So I have that in there, and over to the side in the little compartment there, you can see I have added in some sour cream. If you like sour cream on your potatoes, of course you can choose your own toppings. I'm also adding some cheddar cheese, and I'm using a blend of white and yellow cheddar. It's a Tillamook one. You can buy it already shredded. And this is my broccoli that I had. I'm going to put that into the other little side over there. And we had bacon for breakfast this morning, so I just put a couple of pieces over to the side, and I'm going to break that up kind of right over top of my broccoli so that it can go on my potato as well. Once I finish off here with my bacon, I'm just going to give a little finishing touch with some chopped up green onions, and then this is pretty much going to be ready to go. Of course, if you want for your little potato to remain warm, then you can't just have it inside of a bento box, because unfortunately they don't really hold the heat. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to a thermos for my little girl, and that should stay nice and hot for her lunch. Obviously, I need to put my broccoli and my bacon in there as well, and after I thought it over for a second, I decided to go ahead and put that on the bottom. That way, when she's ready to eat, she can take the potato out first, and then she can just put the broccoli and the bacon, pour it right out on top of the potato. Then, of course, I just transferred the sour cream and the chopped up green onions into another little container so that she could take them along with her also. Moving right along, I have a pretty easy one here for you. This is my little plate up of hummus. So at Costco, they sell these little individual organic hummus packets, and they are absolutely great for snacking or for school lunches. So for this particular plate up, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of these little baby bell peppers, which are great for dipping in your hummus. And I'm also going to add in some little carrots, pretty much as many as I can cram in there. I'm also going to add in some freshly chopped pineapple. Of course, if you don't feel like cutting up a pineapple, you can just use some canned pineapple. And I'm going to put some blueberries in there on top because they are delicious and they are pretty. And just a little bit of mixed nuts. And that pretty much completes this one. Ta-da! All right, on to the next one, chicken and waffles. Yes, who doesn't like chicken and waffles? So for this one, and this is a really easy one, you want to do this first thing in the morning is put your chicken in. I have popcorn chicken, and I also have a buffalo chicken. So obviously it depends on you or your child and what they prefer. So I have one spicy and one non-spicy. We are going to put the spicy one together first. So my little buffalo chickens are going in here, and again, of course, if you want to use a thermos to keep them warm, then go for it. Now these are the cutest little things ever. They're just the little Eggo waffle French toast cinnamon flavored or whatever they are, and they just kind of break apart. So you have these little ready-made waffles where they can just tear pieces off of their chicken, or they can use their little popcorn chickens and kind of stack them together and make little sandwiches, or they can I don't know, stack them up like they're little appetizers or whatever it is. It's kind of fun for kids to do. I also have this little bottle of maple syrup to go along with it, and I bought these containers at Walmart, although I think I'm going to end up getting new containers because some of the caps are not fitting already. On to my next one, Frito pie. Yes. And this was actually my husband's idea, and I thought it was completely brilliant. So we started off with some cheddar cheese in there, and then I am putting chili into the other. Again, use your thermos if you want to. So I have my chili in here, and if you happen to have homemade chili the night before, that's even better, but I didn't. So we are using canned chili that my husband insisted on buying like a year ago, and it was still living in my pantry. So that, along with the Fritos, is just a great little Frito pie, and you could even add some green onions on top if you wanted to, a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of extra prettiness. Onto my cheese plate, which for me, I would totally eat this myself for lunch, and I do every now and then. So I have a couple of the little Baby Bell cheeses, and these come in lots of flavors. Now, if you're making this for your kids, obviously, the Baby Bells are great. For me, I would rather have, a different kind of cheese, but whatever. Along with some Ritz crackers and these super cute little grapes. These are champagne grapes, and they had them at Sprouts last week, so I went ahead and picked some up, and this is what the package looks like if you happen to see them. They're really, really good. They're sweet and delicious, and my kids absolutely love them. I added some nuts to finish this one off, and on to our next one. I dressed up some ramen noodles for the kids. So on this one, I am using the packages of ramen noodles that you see at the store, but I'm not going to use the little flavor packet. So I have put in the 2 cups of water, which is just according to the package instructions. I'm also adding a little bit of ginger and a little bit of garlic, pretty much as you want, but I probably did about a half of a teaspoon to a teaspoon of each. I'm going to put that on the stove, and while that is over there coming to a boil, I put some pineapple chunks into my container along with some cucumbers, and my ramen is going to go in the big part. I also have these Asian meatballs that I made the other day, and I just froze a few of them just for this, and I'm going to make another batch and freeze them. So you can see I have them all nice and labeled. That's how I do everything in my freezer. I just put the little name and the date so I know what I have. And obviously this is my packet of ramen noodles. So the water that I have on my stove, I'm just doing, again, according to the instructions here on the packet, and I have these noodles in here. So as soon as the water comes up to a boil, I'm going to add them. I am not using this flavor packet. If you want to use that, you're totally welcome to, obviously. But if you do add this, I wouldn't put any salt into your water. So anyway, moving right along, I have my noodles over there boiling, and I also added the Asian meatballs right in there so that they would heat up as well. Here I am chopping up a little bit of cilantro, probably around a teaspoon or so. You don't want it to like overtake the flavor of everything else. So just a teeny little bit of cilantro is all that you need. And I have also decided that I'm going to add in a little bit of green onions. So I'm just going to remove the root end of them and that teeny little speck that was on there. I don't know what that was, but it's gone now. So for this, I'm just going to use the green parts of my green onion. Yes, and I'm just going to do a little bit of chopping here, and they're pretty thinly sliced. You don't need a ton of these, I guess, depending again on your own taste, but that is all I'm really going to need. So here you can see my ramen noodles and my cute little meatballs that are in there. And again, I just cooked them according to the package instructions. They were on the stove for 3 minutes. And I'm going to add in my green onions along with that little bit of cilantro. And then I'm just going to give this a really good stir. And the best thing that I found to do this with is my wooden fork. So I'm going to stir this up really well, and then I'm going to put it into my bento box. Again, of course, if you want to keep it warm, go ahead and put it in a thermos. And of course, here are my cucumbers and my pineapples, and I'm also going to put a tiny little container of sriracha in there just in case you want to add a little bit of spice. And you know what else would be really good? Would be those little frozen spring rolls that you can buy. You could just put those in when you first wake up in the morning, and they'd be a perfect side. So here it is, all plated up, and of course, here are all of them together. So I have a really great tip for you that a lot of people don't realize. If you're using a thermos, you have to heat your thermos up before you put the food in it. Do this by adding really hot water into it, then you put the lid on, let it set for 3 minutes, pour it out, and then dry the inside of it before you add any food, and that will help keep your food warm. Hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up or a like or whatever you want to call it. Also share it with all of your friends because sharing is caring. And if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button and be a subscriber now because you don't want to miss any of the upcoming awesomeness that's coming because it's awesomeness. And you can find me on my other social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and bestbitesforever.com, which is my blog. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Happy cooking, everyone.
bestbitesforever.com